The quantum communications array aboard the Earth Defense Force Station Artemis had never screamed quite like this before. Lieutenant Marcus Rivera's fingers danced across the holographic interface, trying to isolate the strange signal that had just torn through humanity's deep space monitoring network. After 3 years of monitoring routine space traffic, this was different. This was desperate. Director Patel. Marcus called out, his voice echoing through the normally quiet command center. You need to see this. Priya Patel, director of Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Division, crossed the room in quick strides, her prosthetic leg making a soft whirring sound that had become familiar to all who worked with her. She'd lost the limb during humanity's first encounter with the Galactic Council 2 years ago, a diplomatic mission that had gone sideways when a rival species tried to prevent Earth's admission to the interstellar community. Talk to me, Lieutenant, she said, leaning over his console. The signal appeared 43 minutes ago. It's using a quantum frequency we've never seen before, but the pattern. Marcus pulled up a visual representation of the transmission. It's definitely artificial, and it's repeating exactly every 6 minutes and 18 seconds. Priya's cybernetic eye, another souvenir from that first contact gone wrong, zoomed in on the pattern. Have you run it through the xenolinguistic matrix? Yes. It's still processing, but preliminary results suggest it's using a variant of Standard Galactic. The message itself. Marcus hesitated. It's a distress call. Priya straightened up, her expression hardening. Show me. The main screen flickered to life, displaying the translated text. Emergency broadcast, Marine homeworld under siege. Crixan forces in orbit, civilian centers targeted. Requesting immediate assistance. Galactic Council assistance pending. Time is critical. The Marine, Priya murmured. Peaceful species, known for their bioengineering achievements. They helped develop the healing compounds that saved thousands after the Singapore incident. She turned to Marcus. Distance. 8 days at maximum safe FTL for our fastest ships. The Crixan, we don't have much data on them, but what we do have isn't good. They are resource pirates, officially unaffiliated with any major galactic power. Priya was already moving toward the quantum comm unit that would connect her directly to Earth Defense Command. Get me everything we have on both species, and start compiling tactical data on the marine system. I need it 10 minutes ago. Captain Olivia Drake stood in the observation dome of the EDF Hyperion, watching Earth grow smaller behind her ship. At 42, she'd earned her command through a combination of tactical brilliance and a stubborn refusal to accept no-win scenarios. The Hyperion was humanity's most advanced warship, a testament to how far they'd come since first contact. Captain, a deep voice called from behind her. The final reports from engineering. She turned to face her first officer, Commander Jamal Washington, a man whose calm demeanor belied his reputation as one of Earth's finest tactical officers. How bad is it? The new quantum drive modifications are holding, but Chief Engineer O'Neill says pushing them to maximum for 8 days straight will be. He searched for the right word, interesting. Olivia took the datapad, scanning the numbers. Interesting is one word for it. Have all ships reported in? Yes. All 23 vessels are in formation and ready for jump. The Beijing and the Sao Paulo are running final checks on their medical bays. Dr. Kenso reports the emergency cryopods are all operational. 23 ships. The largest fleet humanity had ever assembled for an interstellar mission. Not massive by Galactic Council standards, but Earth had learned to do more with less. Being from a death world, as the Council classified Earth, had its advantages. And the Council's response? Jamal's expression darkened. Still, deliberating. Their official stance is that intervention could destabilize the region. Unofficially, word is they are afraid of antagonizing the Crixan. Apparently, several Council members have lucrative trade agreements with them. Politics, Olivia spat the word like a curse. While they debate, people die. She handed the datapad back to Jamal. What's the latest from Director Patel's team? The marine transmission frequency has changed 3 times in the last 6 hours. The Crixin are trying to jam their communications. But we're still receiving scattered distress calls. The last one reported major population centers under orbital bombardment. Olivia's jaw tightened. She'd seen the effects of orbital bombardment during the Singapore incident. The scars on Earth's surface were still visible from space. Time to departure. Final preparations complete in 20 minutes. Admiral Chen is ready for your final confirmation. She nodded, turning back to the observation dome. Earth hung there, blue and beautiful, a harsh world that had forged humanity into something unique in the galaxy. The Council called them unpredictable, dangerous even. Maybe they were right. Send word to all ships, she said. We launch in 20 minutes. And Jamal. She turned to face him. Make sure everyone understands, this isn't just about saving the Marine. This is humanity's chance to show the galaxy what we stand for. Yes. Jamal saluted and left the dome. Olivia remained for a moment longer, watching her homeworld. The Council hadn't wanted Earth in their galactic community. Too aggressive, they'd said. Too willing to take risks. Too ready to fight for what they believed in. They were about to prove just how right those assessments were. In the fleet's medical command ship, the EDF Florence Nightingale, Dr. Kai Patel, no relation to Director Priya, was running final checks on his experimental medical pods. The pods were his life's work, a fusion of Earth medicine and alien healing technology, designed to handle virtually any known species in the galaxy. Doctor, his assistant, Lieutenant Hannah Chen, called from across the lab. The latest data packet from the Marine homeworld just arrived. Their atmospheric composition is higher in chlorine than we expected. Should we adjust the pod parameters? Kai moved to her station, his dark eyes scanning the numbers. Yes, increase chlorine tolerance by 12%. And Hannah? He pointed to another reading. Look at their cellular structure. They are photosynthetic. That's why the Crixin bombardment is so devastating, Hannah realized. They are not just destroying cities, they are polluting the atmosphere. Blocking out their sun. Kai nodded grimly. Which means we're not just dealing with conventional injuries. We're looking at cellular breakdown on a massive scale. He turned to the rows of medical pods. How many can we transport? At maximum capacity. 8,000 across all medical ships. But that's assuming perfect conditions and immediate stabilization. It'll have to be enough. Kai returned to his workstation. Run a full diagnostic on the synthetic photosynthesis chambers. If we can't save their world, we at least need to keep them alive long enough to find them a new one. As the fleet made final preparations, Admiral Chen stood in the command center of Earth Defense Station 1, watching the ships gather in their jump formation. Behind him, the hastily assembled Civilian Oversight Committee argued about the mission's implications. This is a clear violation of Council diplomatic protocols, one member was saying. We're risking our provisional membership status. There are 17 billion Marine, another countered. We can't just let them die because we're afraid of political consequences. Admiral Chen ignored them all, focusing on the tactical display. 23 ships. Thousands of Earth's finest, about to attempt something unprecedented in human history. The Council thought humanity was dangerous, unpredictable. They were about to learn why. Admiral, his aide appeared at his side. Final launch authorization is ready for your signature. Chen took the datapad, his aged fingers moving swiftly across its surface. With a final tap, he authorized humanity's first major interstellar rescue mission. The committee behind him fell silent as he turned to face them. Ladies and gentlemen, he said quietly, what we do here today will define humanity's place in the galaxy for generations to come. The Council wants us to wait, to watch, to let politics run its course. He gestured to the fleet displayed behind him. We choose to act instead. Because that's who we are. That's what Earth stands for. One by one, the ships of humanity's rescue fleet vanished into FTL, leaving Earth behind. They carried with them not just weapons and medical supplies, but something the Galactic Council had never fully understood about humans. When they heard a cry for help, they answered. The Crixin were about to learn what that meant: battle plans. The quantum drive of the EDF Hyperion hummed at frequencies that would have driven most alien species mad. But for the human crew, it had become a lullaby over the past 4 days of FTL travel. Captain Olivia Drake stood in the ship's tactical center, surrounded by holographic displays showing their fleet's formation. Status report, she called out to the assembled command staff. Commander Natasha Volkov, tactical officer of the Hyperion and former Russian Special Forces, stepped forward. Her cybernetic arm projected additional data into the room's holographic display. All ships maintaining formation, Captain. The quantum drives are performing above expectations. Chief Anil's modifications are holding. Medical status. Dr. Kai Patel's hologram flickered to life in the center of the room. He was broadcasting from the Florence Nightingale. We've refined our treatment protocols based on the latest marine physiological data. The synthetic photosynthesis chambers are ready. But Captain. He hesitated. The latest atmospheric readings from the marine homeworld are troubling. The Crixin bombardment has increased particulate density by 300% in the upper atmosphere. They are trying to starve them, Commander Washington said grimly. Block out their sun, destroy their ability to photosynthesize. Exactly, Kai confirmed. We're not just racing against the bombardment anymore. We're racing against planetary atmospheric poisoning. Olivia turned to another hologram, this one showing Captain Victor Santos of the EDF Rio Grande, their primary atmospheric processing ship. Victor, what options do we have? The Brazilian captain manipulated some controls on his end, bringing up atmospheric models. The Rio Grande's purification systems were designed for Earth-type atmospheres, but we've modified them for marine conditions. We can clear sections of the atmosphere, create clean zones for evacuation. But he shook his head, we can't save the whole planet. Not with one ship. Then we focus on the population centers, Olivia decided. Priority zones where we can gather the most civilians for evacuation. She turned to her tactical officer. Commander Volkov, what's the latest on the Crixin forces? Natasha's cybernetic arm projected new tactical data. Long-range scans confirm 4 to 7 ships in orbit around the marine homeworld. Mostly converted mining vessels, heavily armed but not purpose-built warships. Their tactics are primitive. They rely on overwhelming force rather than strategy. Because they've never needed strategy, Commander Washington added. They are used to attacking worlds that can't fight back. Well, they are about to learn what it means to fight humans, Olivia said, studying the tactical display. Show me their fleet formation. The hologram shifted, showing the positions of the Crixin ships. They maintained a loose blockade around the planet, their bombardment platforms positioned in high orbit. Their formation is sloppy, Natasha observed, her military training evident in her tone. Wide gaps, minimal coordination between ships. They are not expecting a serious challenge. Good. Olivia smiled. That's their first mistake. Commander Volkov, initiate Operation Thunderstrike briefing. The tactical display transformed, showing a complex series of battle plans. The assembled officers watched as Natasha detailed their strategy. We'll emerge from FTL here, she indicated a point just outside the marine system. The Hyperion will lead the main battle group in a direct approach, drawing their attention. Meanwhile, Captain Jung's stealth frigates will use the system's debris field for cover, moving into position to disable their bombardment platforms. What about ground operations? Commander Washington asked. A new hologram flickered to life, Colonel Diana Martinez of the 1st Earth Expeditionary Force, broadcasting from the assault carrier Normandy. My teams are ready. We've been training in 1.5G environments to prepare for marine conditions. The Crixin evolved on a low-gravity world, they'll be at a significant disadvantage in ground combat. If we can get them to the surface, someone pointed out. Leave that to us, came a new voice. Captain Raj Patel, again, no relation to the others, of the EDF Sharkti appeared in hologram form. His ship specialized in electronic warfare. We've analyzed Crixin communications protocols. They are surprisingly basic. We can blind their targeting systems, disrupt their internal communications. Make them fight blind and deaf. Olivia nodded, watching the tactical simulations play out. We hit them hard, we hit them fast, and we don't let them recover. But remember, our primary mission is protecting the marine civilians. Everything else is secondary. The briefing continued for another hour, each ship commander and unit leader reviewing their roles. They were outnumbered more than 2 to 1, but Earth forces had always trained to fight against superior numbers. It was part of their heritage, born from countless wars and conflicts on their harsh homeworld. In the Hyperion's marine barracks, Master Sergeant Jin Park ran his troops through final equipment checks. The powered armor suits they wore were engineered for Earth's gravity, making them devastating in the lighter conditions they'd face on the marine world. Remember, he told his soldiers, the Crixen have never fought humans before. They don't know what we can do. Use that to your advantage. But what's your strength? The marine are physically fragile compared to us. When we're evacuating civilians, gentle handling is critical. Sergeant, one of his troops called out, what about the council? What if they show up? Jin checked the power core of his rifle before answering. The council made their choice when they decided to let the marine die. We made ours when we decided to save them. Focus on the mission. Let the politicians worry about politics. On the bridge of the Florence Nightingale, Dr. Kai Patel received a new data packet from the marine surface. The encrypted transmission contained detailed medical information about their species, a final gift from the Marine's chief medical officer. They are incredible, he told Lieutenant Chen as they reviewed the data. Their cellular regeneration capabilities, their symbiotic relationship with their planet's ecosystem, we could learn so much from them. If we save them, Hannah reminded him gently. When we save them, Kai corrected. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our physical capabilities. It's our refusal to stand by while others suffer. The fleet was for hours from their target when they received the first direct transmission from the Crixen forces. Captain Drake assembled her senior staff as the message played through the Hyperion's communications system. The Crixen commander's face filled the screen, reptilian features arranged in what humans would learn was an expression of contempt. The universal translator processed his words. Attention approaching vessels. This system is under Crixen authority. The species known as the Marine have refused our reasonable resource acquisition proposals. We are implementing appropriate corrective measures. Any interference will be met with immediate destruction. Olivia let the message play out before turning to her crew. Appropriate corrective measures, she repeated, her voice hard. That's what they call genocide. Orders, Captain. Commander Washington asked. Olivia looked at the tactical display, where the marine homeworld hung like a jewel being slowly strangled by darkness. She thought of Earth, of humanity's long history of standing up to bullies and tyrants. Of all the times they'd heard someone say, stay out of it, while atrocities were committed. Send them our response, she ordered. Short and simple, the Earth Defense Force recognizes no Crixen authority over free worlds. We are coming. And we are bringing hell with us. The message was transmitted in all known galactic languages. Let there be no misunderstandings about humanity's intentions. All ships, Olivia broadcast to the fleet, final combat positions. We emerge from FTL in 3 hours. Today we show the galaxy that humanity answers when help is needed. Today we remind them why Earth is classified as a death world. Not because our planet is harsh, but because we refuse to let evil triumph through inaction. Throughout the fleet, crews made their final preparations. Weapons were checked, medical bays were readied, and soldiers prepared for battle. They were outnumbered, far from home, and about to defy one of the galaxy's most feared species. They couldn't wait to get started. The Crixen had built their reputation on terrorizing peaceful worlds. They were about to learn what it meant to face humans in battle. As the fleet prepared to drop out of FTL, Captain Drake looked at her crew, Earth's finest, ready to fight for a species they'd never met, simply because it was right. Send word to all ships, she ordered. Operation Thunderstrike begins in 3 hours. Show them what humanity stands for. The response came back from every vessel in the fleet, for Earth and justice. The battle for the marine homeworld was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. First strike. The human fleet dropped out of FTL in perfect formation, emerging like ghosts from the quantum void. On the bridge of the Hyperion, Captain Drake watched as reality reasserted itself around them. The marine homeworld hung before them, its once pristine atmosphere now clouded with the dark pollution of Crixan bombardment. "All ships report ready," Commander Washington announced, his voice steady despite the tension. "Stealth frigates have successfully masked their emergence on the far side of the system." "Enemy reaction?" Olivia asked, studying the tactical display. Commander Volkov's cybernetic arm interfaced directly with the ship's sensors. "They are scrambling their formations now. 4 to 7 ships, as expected. Their bombardment platforms are repositioning to defensive positions." Captain, Lieutenant Ju, their communications officer, called out. "We're receiving a transmission from the Crixan flagship." "Put it through." The main screen flickered to life, showing the Crixan commander. His scales had shifted to a deep red, a sign of aggression, according to their xenobiological briefings. "You dare to interfere," the translated voice growled. "This system belongs to the Crixan Dominion. Leave now, or be destroyed." Olivia stood, her expression calm. "This is Captain Drake of the Earth Defense Force. You are conducting illegal operations against a peaceful civilization. Stand down and withdraw your forces immediately." The Crixan commander's scales rippled. "You bring 23 ships against our fleet. Your species is either brave or foolish. Why not both?" Olivia smiled. "Final warning. Withdraw, or we will remove you by force." The Crixan commander's response was to cut transmission. Immediately, their fleet began moving into attack formation. "They are powering up weapons," Natasha reported. "Multiple targeting locks detected." "Right on schedule," Olivia nodded. "Signal Captain Jung. Begin Operation Thunderstrike." In the debris field on the far side of the planet, Captain Minute G. Jung's stealth frigates powered up their engines. The 6 ships had been specifically designed for this type of mission, their hulls covered in quantum phase coating that bent light and sensor readings around them. "All teams," Minute G broadcast to her squadron, "execute attack pattern Delta. Primary targets are their bombardment platforms. Let's show them why they call Earth a death world." The stealth frigates accelerated silently through space, their advanced drives leaving no traditional engine signature. While the main fleet drew the Crixans' attention, Jung's ships approached their targets from behind. Back on the Hyperion, the battle began in earnest. The Crixan fleet launched their first volley, a massive barrage of plasma fire that lit up space like artificial stars. "Evasive patent heater," Olivia ordered calmly. "Deploy countermeasures." The human fleet moved with precision that stunned their opponents. Ships rolled and twisted in ways that seemed to defy physics, their crews unfazed by G-forces that would have incapacitated most species. The majority of the Crixan barrage passed harmlessly through space. "Return fire," Olivia commanded. "Target their forward shield generators." "Captain Raj, begin electronic warfare operations." Aboard the EDF Shakti, Captain Raj Patel's crew launched their attack. Advanced AI systems developed on Earth penetrated the surprisingly primitive Crixan computer networks. Alarms blared across the enemy fleet as their targeting systems suddenly displayed phantom ships, their internal communications dissolved into static, and their sensor readings became unreliable. "Their technology is exactly as basic as we thought," Raj reported to the fleet. "They've relied on brute force for so long, they never bothered to advance their systems." Beginning Phase 2 Electronic Assault. On the marine surface, First Scholar Valen watched the battle unfold through their last functioning observatory. The marine scientist's bioluminescent skin pulsed with hope for the first time in weeks as she saw the human fleet engage their tormentors. "They actually came," she whispered to her assembled council. "The Earth ships really came." A massive explosion lit up the sky as one of the Crixan bombardment platforms erupted in flames. Then another. And another. Multiple targets neutralized, Captain Jung reported to the fleet. Moving to secondary objectives. These platforms have no rear shields, they never expected to be attacked from behind. In the Florence Nightingale's medical bay, Dr. Kai Patel received the first detailed scans of the surface. Captain Drake, he called over the command channel, "We're detecting massive civilian concentrations in underground shelters. The atmospheric pollution is seeping down to their level. We need to act fast." "Understood," Olivia responded. "Colonel Martinez, begin your deployment. Dr. Patel, coordinate with the Rio Grande for atmospheric clearing operations." The assault carrier Normandy moved into position, protected by a screen of Earth warships. Colonel Martinez's voice rang through the command channel, "First wave launching now. All ground teams, remember your training. We're stronger than them, faster than them, and we're really, really angry." The Crixon commander watched in growing horror as his carefully planned operation fell apart. 6 of his bombardment platforms were now spreading debris through space. His targeting systems showed hundreds of human ships where there should be only 23. Half his fleet couldn't maintain formation because their navigation computers were displaying impossible readings. "Impossible," he snarled. "They are only humans. From a gravity-heavy backwater." A new alert screamed for attention. Human drop ships were entering the atmosphere, their heat shields glowing as they punched through the pollution layer. His sensors showed their troops were wearing powered armor that his weapons could barely damage. "Sir," one of his officers called out. "The human ships, their crews are operating at accelerations that should be fatal. They are not using inertial dampeners." Of course they weren't. They didn't need them. Earth's gravity had made them resistant to forces that would kill most species. Master Sergeant Jin Park led his Marine squad through the streets of the Marine capital. The powered armor let them move with incredible speed despite the ruins around them. Their helmet filters processed the polluted air, while built-in sensors guided them to survivor concentrations. Building ahead, one of his troops reported. Large group of civilians in the lower levels. Atmospheric toxicity increasing. "Move in," Jin ordered. "Remember, gentle hands. These people are counting on us." The Marines breached the building, their armor's enhanced strength easily clearing debris. They found hundreds of Marine civilians huddled in a basement chamber. The bioluminescent aliens looked up in awe as the human warriors entered. "We are from Earth," Jin announced, his words translated by his suit's systems. "We're here to help. Medical ships are standing by. Please remain calm and follow our instructions." In orbit, the battle had turned decisively. The Crixon fleet, stripped of their bombardment platforms and electronic capabilities, found themselves facing an enemy unlike any they'd encountered. Human ships moved with impossible precision, their crews shrugging off maneuvers that should have killed them. "Their flagship is attempting to rally their forces," Commander Volkov reported. "They are trying to form a defensive line." "Not happening," Olivia responded. "All ships, execute attack pattern Omega. Show them what happens when you threaten innocent lives." The Earth fleet moved as one, their formation shifting like a living thing. Rails guns fired projectiles at velocities that turned them into cosmic bullets. Energy weapons sliced through space with surgical precision. The Crixon line began to break. "Captain," Lieutenant Ju called out. "We're receiving transmissions from the surface. Colonel Martinez reports the first evacuation zones are secure. The Rio Grande has created clean air corridors for civilian transport." Olivia allowed herself a small smile. "Send word to all ships. Phase 1 complete. Begin Phase 2, full evacuation of priority zones." The Crixon came here thinking they found an easy target. "Let's make sure the galaxy knows what happened when humanity answered a call for help." The battle for the Marine homeworld wasn't over, but the first strike had been delivered. Humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage not through politics or diplomacy, but through an act of mercy backed by unstoppable force. And they were just getting started, the turning point. The Marine sun rose over a changed world. Where once its light had nourished a thriving civilization, now it struggled to pierce the polluted atmosphere. But in patches of clear sky, courtesy of the Rio Grande's atmospheric processors, hope was breaking through. Captain Olivia Drake stood in the Hyperion's tactical center, watching multiple battles unfold. The primary viewer showed the space combat, where the remaining Crixan ships fought with increasing desperation. Secondary screens displayed ground operations, where Earth's Marines continued evacuation efforts. Status report, she ordered. Commander Washington brought up the latest data. 28 Crixan ships disabled or destroyed. 19 still combat capable, but they are falling back to defensive positions. They are calling for reinforcements. How long until they arrive? Based on intercepted communications, Captain Raj's hologram appeared. Their nearest support fleet is 6 hours out. Estimated 40 ships. Olivia nodded grimly. They'd known this was coming. And our evacuation progress? Dr. Kai Patel's hologram joined the discussion. We've evacuated 30,000 civilians to the medical ships. The synthetic photosynthesis chambers are working better than expected. But. He hesitated, we're at 80% capacity. And there are millions more waiting. The atmospheric situation? Olivia asked. Captain Santos of the Rio Grande appeared. We've established 12 clean zones around major population centers. But the Crixan pollution is spreading faster than we can clean it. If we don't stop it soon, the entire biosphere will collapse. Olivia studied the tactical display. They were winning the battle but racing against time. And now Crixan reinforcements were coming. New contact. Lieutenant Ju suddenly called out. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL at the system's edge. Energy signatures. Captain, they are Galactic Council vessels. Everyone froze. The Council's arrival could change everything, for better or worse. How many ships? Olivia asked. 30 vessels, led by. Ju checked his readings, the GCS Eternal Justice. That's High Commissioner Vaxthal's flagship. Perfect. The Council's most notorious hardliner when it came to Earth. They are hailing us, Ju reported. Put them through, Olivia ordered, straightening her uniform. The screen lit up to show High Commissioner Vaxthal, a tall, crystalline being whose facete surface reflected light in complex patterns. The universal translator processed their resonant voice. Captain Drake. Your presence here violates multiple Council directives. You were specifically ordered not to interfere. With all due respect, Commissioner, Olivia replied, we were asked for help. We answered. While the Council debated, millions were dying. This is not your concern, Vaxthal insisted. The Council will handle dash. Medical priority alert. Dr. Kai's voice cut through the conversation. Captain, we're detecting a massive spike in toxicity levels. The Crixan are deploying some kind of atmospheric poison. On the tactical display, green clouds began spreading from the remaining Crixan ships. The pollution was different this time, engineered to accelerate the destruction of the marine biosphere. Those monsters, someone whispered. Olivia turned back to Vaxthal's image. Are you watching this, Commissioner? While you talk about procedures and directives, they are trying to murder an entire world. What's the Council's protocol for that? On the surface, Master Sergeant Jin Park and his Marines fought against time. The new toxin was eating through their armor's filters faster than expected. This is Park, he radioed. We need immediate evac. The air is turning to poison down here. His squad was protecting a group of Marine civilians, mostly children and elderly. Their bioluminescent skin was growing dim, a sign of severe distress. Hold position, Sergeant, Colonel Martinez responded. Emergency shuttles inbound. The Rio Grande is redirecting atmospheric processors to your location. Jin watched as one of his Marines, Private Rodriguez, gave her helmet to a young Marine child whose breathing was failing. The Marine's enhanced physiology could handle the toxic air better than her suit's filters could process it. Earth forces, a weak voice called. Jin turned to see First Scholar Valen approaching. You risk your lives for us. Why? Because it's right, Jin answered simply. On Earth, we have a saying, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. Back in orbit, the situation was reaching a critical point. The Council fleet hung back, observing but not interfering. The remaining Crixan ships continued pumping poison into the atmosphere while their reinforcements drew closer. In the Florence Nightingale's medical bay, Dr. Kai worked frantically to modify the synthetic photosynthesis chambers. The new toxin is specifically engineered to attack marine cellular structure, he reported. They planned this. They meant to commit genocide from the start. How long until total biosphere collapse? Captain Drake asked. Hours at most. We need to stop those ships now. Olivia turned to her tactical officer. Commander Volkov, what's the status of Captain Jung's stealth squadron? 5 ships still operational. They are in position behind the Crixan fleet. And the Sharkties' electronic warfare capabilities. Captain Raj's hologram smiled. We've cracked their new encryption. We can shut down their shields whenever you give the word. Olivia looked at the tactical display one last time, then made her decision. All ships, execute Operation Valkyrie. Admiral Chen authorized this contingency before we left Earth. Time to show the Council why they call us unpredictable. Throughout the fleet, crews moved with practiced precision. The Hyperion's engines flared as it took point position. Captain, Ju called out, High Commissioner Vaxthal is demanding to know what we're doing. Tell them to watch and learn, Olivia replied. All ships, on my mark. The human fleet suddenly split into 3 groups, executing a maneuver that would have killed most alien crews. Captain Jung's stealth frigates decloaked directly behind the Crixan ships. The Sharkties' electronic warfare suite struck like a digital thunderbolt, shutting down enemy shields. And the Hyperion led the main battle group in what would become known as their Drake Dive, a complex 3-dimensional attack pattern that no non-human crew could have survived. The Crixan fleet, caught completely by surprise, broke formation. Their ships, designed for intimidation rather than actual combat, found themselves under attack from multiple directions by an enemy that seemed to ignore the laws of physics. By the eternal stars, Vaxthal whispered, watching from their flagship. How are they doing this? The answer, of course, was simple, they were human. Their bodies, evolved on a high-gravity death world, could handle maneuvers that would reduce most species to unconsciousness. Their minds, shaped by millennia of warfare and survival, could process complex tactical situations at incredible speed. And their hearts, driven by an unshakable sense of justice, would not allow them to stand by while innocents died. The battle reached its crescendo as the Hyperion engaged the Crixan flagship. Captain Drake's voice rang through the fleet, for Earth and justice. The response came back from every human ship, for Earth and justice. And the galaxy watched as humanity showed exactly why they had earned their reputation as the most dangerous species in known space. The turning point had arrived. But no one could have predicted what would happen next. Dawn of a new era. Space itself seemed to burn as the battle reached its apex. The Hyperion's main guns blazed, their energy beams slicing through the Crixan flagship's compromised shields. Behind them, the human fleet executed maneuvers that had the watching council representatives questioning their understanding of physics. Multiple Crixan ships breaking formation, Commander Volkov reported, her cybernetic arm processing tactical data at incredible speed. Their flagship's reactor is going critical. Incoming transmission from the Crixan commander, Lieutenant Zhu announced. Captain Drake nodded. Put it through. The main screen showed the Crixan leader, his scales now a pale gray, a sign of fear. What are you? He demanded. We're human, Olivia replied simply. And you just learned why that matters. Surrender now, or what's left of your fleet won't survive the next 60 seconds. Before the Crixan could respond, new alarms blared. Captain! Zhu called out. The Crixan reinforcement fleet is arriving early. 43 ships dropping out of FTL. The tactical display lit up with new contact signatures. The Crixan reinforcements emerged from FTL in an attack formation, their weapons already charging. All ships, battle positions, Olivia ordered. Colonel Martinez, status of surface evacuations. We've got another 15,000 civilians in the emergency shelters, Martinez reported from the ground. But the toxin levels are reaching critical. We're losing the air battle. On the Rio Grande, Captain Santos fought to maintain the atmospheric processors. The new Crixon ships are deploying more toxins. We can't keep up with multiple sources. High Commissioner Vaxthal's image appeared on the command channel. Captain Drake, your situation is untenable. The Council fleet will not intervene in this conflict. Withdraw now, or dash. They were interrupted by a new voice, First Scholar Valen, broadcasting from the surface. Please, the Marine leader's voice was weak but determined. Our children are dying. We have lived in peace for 10,000 years. We have helped heal millions across the galaxy. Will you all just watch us die? Silence fell across all channels. In that moment, Captain Drake made a decision that would change galactic history. This ends now, she declared. Commander Volkov, execute Protocol Omega. Authorization Drake 770. Throughout the human fleet, hidden compartments opened. New weapons systems came online, technology that Earth had kept secret since joining the galactic community. Captain, Commander Washington warned, if we do this, there's no going back. The Council will know everything. They wanted to know what humans are capable of, Olivia replied. Let's show them. All ships, deploy gravity lance weapons. The Council representatives watched in shock as the human vessels revealed their most closely guarded secret. The gravity lances, weapons developed from Earth's unique understanding of high-gravity physics, activated. Beams of concentrated gravitational force reached out across space. The effect was immediate and devastating. The Crixon ships, designed for low-gravity environments, began buckling under forces their hulls were never meant to withstand. Their crews, evolved on a gentle world, found themselves crushed by artificial gravity fields that human crews could withstand. Impossible! Vaxthal exclaimed. This technology, it violates dozens of Council restrictions. No, Olivia corrected. It violates your assumptions about what's possible. Channel open to all ships, all forces. She stood on her bridge, her voice carrying to every vessel in the system, this is Captain Drake. To the Crixon forces, your ships are trapped in our gravity fields. Your weapons are useless. Your crews can barely move. Surrender now, or be destroyed. To the Council, you came to observe. Then observe this, humanity will not stand by while innocent people die. Not now, not ever. We are not your servants, not your children, and not bound by your limitations. We are human, and we will act according to our conscience. On the surface, Master Sergeant Jin Park and his Marines watched in awe as the Crixon ships in orbit began falling out of formation, caught in invisible fields of crushing force. What's happening up there? One of his troops asked. Jin smiled behind his helmet. Earth just changed the rules of the game. First Scholar Valen, who had insisted on staying with her people despite the danger, looked up at the sky. Through patches in the poison clouds, she could see flashes of light as ships maneuvered and fought. Your people, she said to Jin, you risk everything for strangers. Not strangers, Jin replied. People who needed help. That's all we needed to know. In the Florence Nightingale's medical bay, Dr. Kai received new readings from his instruments. Captain Drake. The gravitational effects, they are disrupting the molecular structure of the Crixon toxins. Explain, Olivia demanded. The gravity fields are literally pulling the poison particles out of the atmosphere. If we can maintain this effect. He worked his calculations frantically. Captain Santos. If you redirect your atmospheric processors now, we might be able to save the biosphere. The Rio Grande's engines flared as it moved to a new position, its processors working in concert with the gravity fields to cleanse the marine atmosphere. The Crixon reinforcement fleet lasted less than 10 minutes under the gravity lance assault. Ships surrendered or were destroyed, their crews unable to function under the crushing forces that human vessels generated with ease. High Commissioner Vaxthal's voice was subdued when they next spoke. Captain Drake, the Council will need to re-evaluate many things after this day. Good, Olivia replied. Start with this: Earth joined your community in peace, but we will not be bound by fear or indifference. When we hear a call for help, we answer. That's who we are. And if the Council objects? Vaxthal asked. Then the Council needs better principles. The cleanup took days. Earth ships maintained their gravity fields while atmospheric processors cleaned the poison from the marine world. Medical ships treated the injured while engineering teams began rebuilding crucial infrastructure. In the end, the statistics told the story: over 200,000 marine civilians saved. 38 Crixan ships captured or destroyed. 0 human ships lost, though several were badly damaged. But the numbers didn't tell their whole story. In the aftermath, as the marine began returning to their restored cities, something else emerged: a new understanding between species. The Council had always feared Earth's potential for violence. Now they saw humanity's potential for protection, for justice, for standing up when others would stand aside. First Scholar Valen, speaking to the Council representatives who finally came to the surface, put it best: you fear humans because they come from a harsh world. But you miss what that world taught them: not just strength to fight, but strength to help others. Not just power to destroy, but power to protect. They are what the galaxy needs. 1 month later, Captain Drake stood in the Hyperion's observation dome, watching Earth grow larger as they returned home. Commander Washington joined her, holding a datapad. The Council's response, she asked. Mixed, he replied. They are officially censuring Earth for revealing restricted technology and unauthorized military intervention. And unofficially? Unofficially? 17 species have requested mutual defense treaties with Earth. The Marine have offered to share their entire medical database with us. And 3 Council members have proposed creating a new rapid response force for crisis intervention, with Earth as a founding member. Olivia smiled. They learned something important about humans. What's that? That will always answer when help is needed. No matter the cost, no matter the risk. Because that's who we are. The Hyperion entered Earth orbit, joining the other ships of the rescue fleet. They had left as an unknown factor in galactic politics. They returned as something else: proof that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology, or their physical capabilities, or even their tactical skill. It was their unwavering determination to help those in need. As the fleet settled into orbit, communications channels lit up with messages from across the galaxy, some fearful, some admiring, but all acknowledging one undeniable fact: humanity had arrived on the galactic stage. And they had arrived not with conquest or dominance, but with an act of mercy backed by unstoppable force. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly what humanity had intended all along.